I think we all know that Microsoft's Xbox has been a massive failure in this generation consoles, but I don't think we actually understand just how catastrophically bad it's been. And it all points back directly to Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond. I saw Oliver Darko post this. According to Jez Corden, there's no 2025 Xbox wrap up because Microsoft's marketing budget doesn't have enough resources. It's a tough economic environment for small companies like dot 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 Microsoft. Just the richest or next to richest organization on the planet. Now that Nvidia is going nuts, Microsoft's one of the most valued companies on planet Earth, but they do not have the marketing budget resources to do an Xbox Wrapped this year. This is from Jez Corden on Windows Central, who has me blocked on X because he's a hardcore wokey and corpo bootlicker. This is Sarah Bond on X. I found this curious. When I say he's a wokey corpo bootlicker, Sarah Bond, president of Xbox, 466 following, almost 100,000 followers, one subscription. Jez Corden. I'm sure there's no access or anything granted. Jez Corden on Windows Central. Where's the Spotify style Xbox Wrapped for 2025? It's not coming this year, but there might be a good reason. Again, corpo bootlicker. There's a good reason. Marketing doesn't have it in their budget. It's like literally like done by AI, bro. What do you mean marketing doesn't have the budget? Some of you have been asking if Xbox is doing its own Wrapped this year, akin to Spotify. The answer is no, but there is good stuff on the horizon. Trust me, bro. Xbox is amazing. Spotify changed the way we consume music, but it also changed the way brands engage with customers, particularly towards the end of the year. A couple weeks ago, I opened my banking app to see how much damage Christmas has done to my finances thus far, only to find that my bank now does a Wrapped style celebratory overview of the past year of poor financial decisions. I was mortified, but it was also a reminder of how popular Spotify's Wrapped has become. If you live under a rock, you may be unaware that every year, music service Spotify analyzes your musical habits. It's not just Spotify, by the way. I mean, maybe that's all he uses that does this. I have YouTube Premium. I use YouTube Music. It did the same thing. I play games on Steam. It did an end of the year wrap for Steam gaming. All the consoles typically do this. It's not anything crazy. Even YouTube for what you've watched does a year-end review. Content creation does a year-end review. Everything does it. It's not just Spotify. It's so popular, every company, exactly, begun doing its own Wrapped from PlayStation to YouTube and occasionally Xbox too, but not for 2026. Some of you have been asking me if Xbox will be doing its own year in review style recap of your gaming habits in 2025. My sources suggest that, as you might expect, given that it's now the 18th, Xbox is not doing a wrap this year. And there's potentially a good reason. Next year will kick off a confluence of major anniversaries, not just for Xbox, but some of its subsidiary properties too. Xbox is having its 25th. None of this matters. What? Why the hell can't you get a wrapped on what you've done during the year? What the hell? Xbox is having its 25th anniversary alongside Halo itself. Blizzard is also having its 35th anniversary. Bethesda is having its 40th anniversary. Xbox was launched as a brand on November 15th, 2001. Blizzard launched in February 91. Bethesda launched in June 86. Ironically, sharing a 40th anniversary with me. Bro, oh my God, who cares? As such, a lot of the quote-unquote marketing budget that would have typically been allocated to something like an Xbox Wrapped is being poured into efforts to celebrate these major milestones of Xbox, its brands, and some of its games. Guys, I will pull out the smallest violin and play a sad, sad song from one of the richest organizations on the planet, that they are spread too thin. They have purchased too many companies and they're celebrating too many things to care about giving you a year-end review of what you've played. This is insane. For sure, I'm told Microsoft has some big plans to celebrate Xbox's 25th anniversary in 2026. I wonder if they're even going to be around with Xbox in 2026, the rate they're going, which is why you've seen some decreased activity for Xbox community events in 2025. Oh, so they want to make a bigger impact, so they just take away all the community events than the year before so that it feels like they're doing more the next year. Classic. Some of that budget was moved through to next year to accommodate. Blizzard is having its first public BlizzCon event next year for a while, which is tipped to its biggest ever and most expensive ever, as it reveals new content for Diablo, World of Warcraft, and quite possibly StarCraft 2. You guys have phones, right? The promo materials I received for BlizzCon included logos for Warcraft, Diablo, Overwatch, and StarCraft as well, signifying that Blizzard still regards the sci-fi game series as a pillar franchise. Great. Again, I don't care. I genuinely don't care. Why is this company spending money? My problem. Oh, guys, they're spending so much on BlizzCon. They can't afford the year-end review. I still can't get over it. It's not about the marketing budget, man. It's mismanagement. It's people in charge that have no fucking clue what they're doing. Be honest with yourself for 2 seconds here. This is embarrassing. Bethesda is also planning to launch new Starfield content in 2026, including PS5 and Nintendo Switch 2 version, I'm told. Bethesda recently teased that Fallout is being worked on in a big way. Great. Okay. Again, how is any of this anyone's problem? This is classic. We also have a new Halo remake dropping in 2026. Yeah, great. I'm actually personally looking forward to that. Even though they added running to it, I'm just like, I hope it works in the world. I have a lot of concerns with it, but alongside other new potential entries in classic Xbox franchises like Fable, Gears of War, and Forza as well. I imagine that Xbox will do a bigger and more impressive Xbox Wrap style moment for 2026, similar to what it did for its 20th anniversary in 2021 with Xbox Museum. Again, so you're taking away features in order to give features the following year to make it feel like it has more of an impact. What? And you're eating this up like it's a good thing? Oh my God. Xbox seems to do these types of things for bigger anniversary beats rather than an annualized program. Grab your own Xbox Wrapped with true achievements. If you're sad about missing out on the official Xbox Wrapped, consider this alternative. So one of the richest companies on planet Earth can't just do this. They don't have a system in place to put this together with all the data they have. True Achievements has access to Xbox API. The system's catalog. I can't with this. This is impressive. I played a ton of games. Great. Congratulations. What have you been playing? Bro, what even is this article? No wonder you have me blocked. Holy shit. This is impressive. Grubs on X. Worst holiday sales for consoles since 2005. Xbox is down 70%. PS5 is down 40%. Year over year, Xbox Series X and S down 40%. And you'd be hard-pressed to even find them in the store when you go shopping, even if you wanted them. They raised the price of them too, even if they exist. Jeff Keighley, U.S. video game hardware sales in November were the lowest by units since November 1995 at 1.6 million per the gold standard Circana. Top selling hardware, PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch 2, Next Playground, and fourth place, Xbox Series X/S, meaning they add them combined together, and it still isn't selling as much as the Next Playground. Classic. This goes directly to Sarah Bond, by the way. It really does. Grum's back in May of 2024. Xbox President Sarah Bond has no answers. They know they're in trouble. Game Pass and mass consolidation are not sustainable. Sony exec says they would need 500 million subscribers, and they have 34 million. I've been telling people this for years. Xbots and journos called me a liar. Here we go. Let's hear what she have to say.
You know, one of the things I really love about the games industry is it's a creative art form. And it means that the situation and what success is.
Now, remember, I've covered Sarah Bond in detail in the past. She is a straight up DEI hire from a DEI organization. Check out that video where I dive into her background of the company she used to work at and how she is anything but a gamer. She doesn't know shit. So just listening to her talk is actually comical. You wonder why Xbox is spiraling right now. They literally put a DEI hire that is a moron at the top of the organization. Of course it's going to fail. What do you think's going to happen?
For each game and studio is also really unique. Like there's no one size fits all to it for us. And so we look at each studio, each game team, and we look at a whole variety of factors when we're faced with sort of making decisions and trade-offs like that. But it all comes back to our long-term commitment to the games we create, the devices we build, the services, and ensuring that we're setting ourselves up to be able to deliver on those promises.
Okay, so she just said a lot of Kamala Harris there. Word salad. I know it was very low volume. I apologize for that. But don't worry, you didn't miss anything if you didn't hear it because none of it made sense. This says Jedi Joystick, Naoki Hamaguchi, director of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, visited Microsoft's headquarters to celebrate the close partnership between Square Enix and Xbox. In the meeting, Hamaguchi met with Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond. So we do know Square Enix is stumbling really bad right now. Microsoft also stumbling really bad right now. And I wonder if, Microsoft has infinite money, the deepest pockets in all of tech outside of NVIDIA. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just outright bought Square Enix or a majority stake share in them and just use them exclusively. I wouldn't be surprised. Literally, people might laugh at that. This is the kind of meeting where that's the kind of stuff that they talk about. It does make you wonder. I know Square Enix is really tight with Nintendo. I know they're really tight with Sony, but money talks. I'd be very curious to see what comes from this. And we'll leave it at this. This is Shotan says, Xbox stopped trying, bought dozens of Western studios that went over budget and under-delivered. Axed them led to a drought of exclusives. Some may conclude their president of Xbox, Sarah Bond, ran the Xbox to the ground. And I think history will look back and say, you wonder why Xbox as a brand died? It was this person right here. That's why this position is so vitally important. That's why when gamers speak up against DEI and say, we don't want this in our industry, it's because we want these companies to survive. We want these studios to be good. We want the consoles to be amazing. We want it to be coordinated and functional and people that understand what the hell they're doing, not figureheads from DEI companies coming in to say, so here's some word salad for you on why I think this is important. Anyways, you know what else is important? ESG scores. Anyways, Xbox is dead. And I think the following years is going to prove that. I wouldn't be surprised if they exited completely from the games industry, pull a Sega and just leave. I know they're working on a console right now, supposedly. Until it comes out and goes for sale, I don't have any faith in any of that. But we'll see. For now, I'll leave that there. Phil Spencer has been a longer problem with Xbox, says Blackbeard. Sarah Bond is only a recent addition to the problem pile. I agree with that. I think Phil used to be good with what he was doing. And I think he just grew out of it. He's just kind of there still. I really do feel like that's what it is. Yeah.